I'm not a cook. I have never in my life, in 74 years and some, have I ever made a cookie. I've never made a cake. I've never baked a loaf of bread in the oven. But I have made many loaves of bread in my bread machine, and one is in the final stages of cooking right now. I would not think of buying bread. I would not eat purchased bread. I am a bread making fool. And I love to do it. It's so easy and so delicious and healthy, and it's just the right thing to do. I'm going to show you some of the things that I use that are important in my bread making. And then my bread loaf should be done in just a few minutes. This is an old Gold Star bread maker. Anyone will do. I have this one, and I bought a spare that is in my utility room in case this one ever goes defunct. The main way to keep this from going defunct or breaking, and it will never break, I don't think, unless you place the bread pan in water. The fatal flaw would be getting the little underside of your bread pan wet, and if that rusts, then you'll have a problem. Otherwise, these should last forever, and I expect this one too. You will need a bread knife. This one works just fine. You can buy these for about $20 and maybe less on Facebook Marketplace. You will need this type of flour, and I put a little whole wheat flour in mine as well to make it a little healthier, but it actually tastes best with the white flour. You'll need some little measuring items here. You will need yeast, and I would not use any other yeast than this. Purchase this on Amazon. Ginger usually buys this, I think, at Walmart, the flour. This is the sugar I use, maple syrup. I would also use honey. And in the recipe I use, I only use one recipe for everything, by the way. I put 2 tablespoons of sugar in every loaf. I put 2 teaspoons of salt in every loaf. I put 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast in every loaf. That just tells you some of the things in this. I also, you will need water. I'm not really going to give you a full recipe here. I've got other videos that will do that. But I just want you to know that those are the things that go into bread. Water, flour, salt, sugar, yeast. And that's it. Well, I'll go ahead and tell you, some people may want to try to make it off of my recipe. I don't know if this will work in your machine or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. First, I put in 1 1/2 cups. 1 1/2 cups of water. Then I put in 4 cups of flour. Now, if you just use white flour, that'll be fine. Or I might put in 1 cup of wheat and 3 cups of flour. And I'm doing these in the order that I actually place them in the machine. 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of syrup or honey, 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. You place it in the bread pan. And on this, I can cook the loaf in 2 hours. You'll have to make your own settings yourself, but all I do is once it's in the machine, I press 5 for rapid and start. And the bread machine does all the other work. I don't have to do anything except make sure that the bread paddle is in there and working. If you leave the bread paddle off, then you're going to have a messed up loaf. So you can't leave the bread paddle off. You got to be sure it's going around. But you'll know that soon enough if you're watching. So actually, this says make a 1.5 pound loaf. The instructions that I have right here makes a 2 pound loaf. And that's all the better. And it's getting close to being done. Here's something very nice. I got this off eBay. We've been using this for years, it seems like. This is cellophane bag so that you can put your bread in it. Actually, you can use the same bag a couple of times, which we do. But man, that is very handy. We bought this on eBay. So there's 1 minute left. There's my loaf. I can't wait. So why don't I unplug the machine and get with it? So there it is. That is a fine, tall loaf. The less wheat flour you use, the taller the loaf will be. If you use 1 full cup, the loaf won't be this big. Oh. And there it is. A fine loaf, I must say. Beautiful in every way. I dare you to have a prettier loaf of bread than me. I will have to dig out the bread paddle here and put that in water, clean it. And don't forget to put the bread paddle back into the machine so that it will be ready for your next use. Thanks for watching.
It's huge.
It's a monster.